some action soon. But before we get that, I want to point something out though, guys. I'm not going to be having Fisaya with me here, so he's not actually, gonna be on the semifinals. We're not gonna be seeing him anymore. But trust me, in the finals, we're gonna be seeing Carl there. So me and Carl are actually going to be in the finals. So that's something you should look forward to. And hopefully, depending on the schedule by the management team, you might see the finals tomorrow, or I don't know, MJ is gonna have to confirm that. But before we get straight into the game and the lobby phase, we're in the tournament lobby right now. And before we get into the game here, I want to engage the comments here because I actually owe you guys an apology, and I believe I just rendered it. So yeah, if you're watching here, am I forgiving? And I can see Carl, I can see Carl in the comments there, and it says, I tell you that I'm farm now, bro. Steady on the ground. Oh, trust me to throw Carl whenever I see him. But yeah, guys. So they made a poll on the comments here, and they were like, who is going to win, Oasiss or Zetsumei? And you can see the poll, you can see the outcome. Zetsumei has a 71% outcome. That's a total from 7 votes. And Zetsumei has 71% and Oasiss has 29%. So it's clear that the people in this chat right now, they are inclining towards Zetsumei for the win. And if you remember correctly, in the poll on the community chat, in the announcement channel, they actually had more voters for Oasiss than Zetsumei. So the reverse is the case here, where you have more supporters of Zetsumei in the chat, and then you have more supporters of Oasiss in the announcement channel for the community. So yeah, it's an ironic situation, but let's see how that turns out, guys. But in the meantime, while the players are being invited, and that's the players of Oasiss and Zetsumei. And by the way, in case you don't know, Oasiss is actually a team that is renowned in the community, as well as Zetsumei. Zetsumei are a pretty strong team, and they played against Crimson Era. It was a pretty, pretty one-sided battle. But then that happened, and Zetsumei are back again. Oasiss might give them a run for their money, and the poll just shifted. That's another vote in, and that's more towards Oasiss side. And I think things are starting to balance out here. But let me not speak too soon. Welcome to the stream, Roronua. Welcome to the stream, Carl. Welcome to the stream, Ryosei. Welcome to the stream, Soy Candy. Hello, guys. How's it going? What are you guys up to tonight? And what are you guys' personal predictions for this match? Do you think Oasiss, despite what the chat says, the poll here says they are going to take it, or do you think Zetsumei just have the people in heart and also have the game in the bag for this tonight's semifinals? Really, it's a really big one. It's the semifinals for the seasonal showdowns, so there's a lot to look forward to in this. We have Oasiss, and at the starting lineup, definitely going to go for the starting lineup there. But Zetsumei too as well. You don't expect them to just take it lying down. But then there's a lot of players we should be looking out for on both teams. But before, we're gonna have to see the players line up first before we get, analyzing the players that in the lineup here. But first, I want to engage the comments. Obviously, I can see Cam still spamming some emotes there. What's up, broski? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. But then another person says, when's it starting? Okay, yeah, we're in the tournament lobby right now. So if you're not seeing the tournament page, then probably something is going on, but I'm pretty sure you are. So I'm not going to be addressing that. And someone says, ref don't show. Where are the players? Okay, yeah, the players are going to be coming in. That's the ref's job. So just let him do his thing there, Ronoa. Just be patient and let's engage. Let's talk with each other here. And that's 9 votes on the poll. So yeah, more people for Zetsumei. I'm not surprised, actually. There's more supporters here. Zetsumei have pretty much won the charts right now. And you can see that, you can see that Rona says, okay, Ryosei says it's pronounced as Rosei. Okay, I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. But then, okay, you chose to use a Japanese name, and I'm Nigerian, bro. So you don't expect me to pronounce it like, like the Japanese would. But then, yeah, we're about to get into the semifinals here, guys. And really, it's how far these teams have gone that I want to talk about, because Zetsumei, I mean, they're a team that have just dominated, and Oasiss as well. They've really walked through the whatever opponents that came towards them in the qualifier stage, and also the quarterfinals. So yeah, these are both teams that have shown a lot of endurance. But then, who is going to qualify to face El Cartels in the finals? And that is something we're going to find out today, because El Cartels are not jokes, man. Those guys are really styling, and they've shown how they do things in the quarterfinals. We saw a match that ended in 10 minutes, 55 seconds, and that was the record, guys. That was the record for this entire season of Showdowns, and it was set by El Cartels, the shortest game ever, and they faced formerly called Phantom Troops. But I can't. Someone should please remind me the team they faced yesterday. I can't really put it in my head. But then, that's Riose saying, even me get issues pronouncing it. Well, yeah, of course, you're Nigerian, bro. You don't expect to, have the Japanese accent. But yeah, that was a very interesting game yesterday. And that's Solian requested to join the lobby. But I'm not going to handle any of that. That's the job of Qflow. And in case you don't know, yeah, Qflow is the ref for the semifinals. I love that guy. He knows what he's doing. And, I actually, they should give him some recognition there because Qflow, arguably one of the best refs out there. Okay. So, yeah, we now have to talk about something here else too. We have to talk about the fact that El Cartels are already in the finals because of how they, obviously, because, El Cartels have not lost a single match and a single fixture. So yeah, let's get that straight. They've not lost a single fixture. El Cartel has never played a game that got to a best of 3. Yeah, let's actually note that, and let's actually admit that okay, yeah, that has got to be some insane feat. You're going to tell me that the entire qualifiers and the entire qualifiers and the entire tripart race, El Cartel has never lost a single match or ever played a match that got to a best of 3. It has always been a 2-0 in their favor. So automatically El Cartels are in the finals, and that's the point of these semifinals. Oasiss and Zetsumei, we want to see, and we will get to see a team that will get to face El Cartels in the finals and actually hopefully give them a run for their money. We might get to see a best of 3. I don't know, guys. You tell me. Oasiss versus Zetsumei. And now the polls in the charts are starting to increase and things are starting to balance out. And Oasiss fans are coming back into the stream. We can see Oasiss here getting more votes, and that's 12 votes on the poll there. And that's Zetsumei on 58% with Oasiss on 46. And things, we can start to balance out even more. More votes coming in. And yeah, keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. And that's Carl saying, don't worry, I'll beat El Cartels. Yeah, definitely. I think Carl solos, by the way. Yeah, Carl definitely solos El Cartel. And Solion just keeps requesting to join the lobby. And it seems like Qflow is not having it. He will not let him in. And I'm not actually supposed to worry about that because, that's the ref's job. But then, yeah, I believe Carl is OP enough to actually beat them. Yeah, Carl Granger is OP, by the way. Yeah, so... All right, guys. Yeah, once again, guys, I apologize for the delay so far. This is actually unexpected. But then stuff happens, right? But we're trying to resolve all this in the back end. So yeah, I guess just sit tight. Let's discuss. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Oasiss versus Zetsumei is bound to be interesting. It's bound to be something, to give you a run for your money. I mean, the quarterfinals was quick. I have to admit that. I have to come out and say that it was the shortest game so far in the entire season of qualifiers. But I mean, how much more can we really do this? I mean, how much more can we see? Because El Cartels, they really styled. They did. But Oasiss and Zetsumei, I don't think we're going to be seeing a time attack game like we saw yesterday. I don't think we're going to be seeing a 10 minutes, 55 seconds game. I think we're going to be seeing a standard game. We might even get to see a best of 3. But based on the current time, if we see a best of 3, then this might actually extend into the midnight, which hasn't actually happened before, playing a game in the midnight. But yeah, that can happen because we're actually starting out late, which, is something that happened in the back end. But then that's Onye Machi Zion saying, okay, all right. But then, yeah, that's 50% on both sides to balance things out. The chat is now with 14 votes and 7 for Oasiss, 7 for Zetsumei, and things are balanced out. The community is unbiased here. Both teams now divided. Both teams now have divided fans here. Oasiss have 50%, Zetsumei have 50%. So yeah, both teams have equal number of 7 votes, and people looking forward to their win. So it's a serious matter of who is gonna take it at this point. We're gonna have to wonder. Oasiss and Zetsumei. Zetsumei have shown promise. I can't lie, man. I mean, they really styled against Crimson Era. They really did so well, but how much more? That's the thing. How much more? Oasiss, I'm pretty sure they watched that match. I'm pretty sure they did their homework in that situation. So definitely not going to allow themselves to get run over by Zetsumei here. Or I'm pretty sure Zetsumei also did their homework against Oasiss. So yeah, they're definitely not gonna let Oasiss have an easy time at that. But yeah, in the lobby we can see players coming in, and that's anti-hero and Riri for the side of Zetsumei. We can also see Kane. That's Kane, by the way. If you don't know, Kane was the one that played the Broody that really started the last game. That was Zetsumei versus Crimson Era. And then we have Tunechi here. So yeah, while we wait for the players to arrive in the lobby, we're gonna have to just go on a short break, guys. And once lobby is pretty much filled, we're going to have to bring you guys back in right here. Don't go anywhere. This is bound to be an interesting one. Take me away. Right, welcome guys. Welcome back. Apologies for the delay and technical difficulties that happened there that caused a little bit of delay. But then we're back, and yeah, we're back into the lobby, the draft phase, and the lobby bans. Of course, this is tournament lobby, so we get to do the 10 bans in the draft phase, so you don't need a lobby ban here. I have to correct myself on that one, but that's Field Wife with the first ban. And yeah, takes, of course, you're taking down the Broody. That's an expected one. Kane is on the side of Zetsumei, and you don't want to give him that chance. And I like the fact that they will respond with the Lancelot's ban. I love that. Field Wife is dangerous. You don't want to give Oasiss a Lancelot, but then Smile here has to ban something now, has to really think this through though. And Tonechi has taken down that Xbox. That Xbox can be pretty traumatic, but no, he will take down the Uranus. I don't even see any Tatsuya, but yeah, Oasis, I'm pretty sure they have their reasons for doing that, but that's really there with the next ban. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, and Riri takes down the Kimi, a very valid ban at that. You know, Kimi can be quite the meta and quite the annoying mid lane, and can also be played as a marksman as well. I think, you know, dominant marksman, but then, you know, a pretty multi-lane hero there. That's Benz with the next ban. He has a lot of options. He can ban. Take down the Jusine. Jusine is available. Gato is available. Hylos is available. You can take those down. That can be quite problematic, but no. Vance wants to take his time. He really wants to think this through. Starts getting a bit indecisive here. Perhaps waiting for his team inputs. But Vance, you have options here. You can take down that Jusine. Take down that Jusine. That Jusine is a problem, but no. Takes down the Calais. A very valid one. Yeah, Calais can be very problematic. There's a very good control there with healing. And Zell has to take down someone now. All Father is there. And perhaps a Lapu might be taken down. But no, I think I'm confusing this All Father for the other All Father. And that's the Alice takedown. And Field Wife, the first phase of the ban phase is done. And Field Wife will go for that first pick. A Jusine is available for the mid lane. A Zetion is available too. So you can go for that if you want those meta mid lane picks on your team. But Oasis, they don't seem to want to go for that. They will lock down the YSS. Okay, a very interesting first pick. They've got advantages there, but the two first pick will go to Zetsumei now, and that's Anti-Hero and Riri. And let's see what they will go for. Okay, Tonechi going with the Xbox. I saw that one coming. Tonechi will have to go for the Xbox. They should have taken out the Xbox, and the meta mid lane pick, Sicilian, is in the back for Zetsumei. Two very solid picks, and it's looking so good for them in the draft phase right now. Field Wife and Vance, they're gonna have to respond to that. They definitely need some divers here for Zell, but then Vance and Field Wife, they might be thinking about mobility heroes now. But Vance, he needs to be very patient and he needs to be very considerate here, and that's what I said. Mobility marksman it will be. Vance goes for the Erethel and Field Wife. Now on the Jusine, that's the meta pick. On the mid lane, they don't want to ban the Jusine, so they will might as well go for it. As Jusine, it is Field Wife will lock down the Jusine, and that's Anti-Hero. Anti-Hero might as well just you know, be patient at this point and just consider options. They have a Jusine now, but Anti-Hero wasting no time, locking down the Camilla, and there's the star-crossed lovers in the scene again for Zetsumei. They did this against Crimson Era, and we're seeing this strategy again, and that's Kane. The British banned, so Kane might have to go for something else, perhaps a Bruno. And he might have to take down someone as well, someone that might be problematic to his pick, and that's the Gato. Definitely, you want to take down the Gato. If you're a marksman, Gato can be very problematic against you. But that's All Father there. Taking down the 1-1, you want to make sure that you don't have difficulties when you're using the Jusine, because the 1-1's Needles and Flowers can be the counter to Field Wife's Lantern Flare. So you have to consider how these mechanics interact with each other and make sure that they don't get in the way. But really, you have to consider things too as well, you know, with the fact that Oasis still have 2 bans left, and 2 picks left and 1 ban left. You know, that's the glue takedown. Okay, valid one at that. You don't want the stick and the slows, especially with Zell on the Sicilian. That would be very problematic. Excuse me. Yeah, and they take down to Moskov. All right, that's 3 marksmen taking down on the side of Oasis alone. It's clear that they don't want Kane. They don't want to give him any meta marksman picks, and that's a very clear one. Kane goes for Clint. Clint is a very boss marksman. He's a very nice marksman on the gold lane, if you know what you're doing. But that's the last 2 bans on All Father and Dazai. Oasis have to think this one through. They have to think this one through. They have to make sure that Kane will have difficult time trying to deal damage. But that's Arlott, okay, Lone Spear. He might just come in. We don't get to see an Arlott that often. And the Temple Guardian, Grok, we might get to see him in. Those are two rare picks. You don't get to see them all the time. And that's Oasis considering things here, how they interact. You have to make sure that they don't counteract your own heroes on your team. But then 8 minutes on that clock is not giving them enough rational time to think. But then Dazai here, they might have to settle for this picks here. Time is up. And that concludes Oasis drafting on their end. Meanwhile, Rain has the last draft now. And that's the Roger, a very popular pick amongst the jungle here. But then Rain, slightly indecisive, thinking things through. You might have difficulties on the Roger. I mean, Allfather has the stuns. And the Field Wife has the stuns as well. Has the pull-ups and the airborns and the knockbacks, and you know the Roger just might not be fit enough for this comp. But then Rin, you have to really calm down. You have to really think this through. Are you sure this is what you want to go for? Are you sure this is what you want to lock down? Because this might be counterproductive for your team. I think you know, Hayabusa would be better. I think Hayabusa would be better here, or a Link would be better in this situation. Or you could go for an assassin that has less dependability and less, you know, crowd control vulnerability. But no, Rain will not listen to any of what I'm saying and goes for the Roger pick. And that concludes the drafting, guys. What do you think about the drafting, and which drafts are you going to incline towards? As the game loads, I am going to be engaging you guys. Excuse me. Okay, so, all right, so the comments now. The comment says, may the best team wins, and that's from Renoir. Wow, yeah, definitely may the best team wins. The poll right now has 21 votes and more in favor of Oasis. Wow, that's actually quite a turn of events, because Zetsumei was leading by far, and now they are behind by far on the poll. Another person says no disqualification for being late. Yeah, I think that's been clarified by you know, the technical already. But then someone says, okay, yeah, that's all the comments so far. There hasn't been any new comments, but then the game is still loading. So yeah, let me just get a little water down in, and I'll get back right in. One sec, guys. Let me just take water really quick. So yeah, I'm back in, and now the game is loading. So yeah, we have to really consider the fact that yeah, it's tournament lobby, so they get to use all the skins. The skins are pretty easy. They're pretty, you know, free. You don't get to pay anything for them. They're not, you know, they're not locked behind any kind of reward system or payment system. So it's tournament lobby, you can use anyone you want, and that's the Aeon of Twilight, you know, alloy skin. That skin is pretty rare, you know. But then both teams really looking good, shiny skins at that. But then what's more important here? This is the semi-finals, guys. So the skins are the least priority right now. Everyone wants to see what these two teams have for us tonight and what they're going to do against each other. I'm pretty sure they've both done their homework. This is the semi-finals. You can't afford not to research on your opponent. But that is going to be it. Concluding the loading screen and get in straight into the game. Killflow being the ref, Stack being the technical in the back end. Shout out to ML Hub for organizing. This is now Showdown, and this is the semi-finals. Game 1, Zetsumei versus Oasis. Let's get it straight into it, guys. And they're up top on the jungle there, and that's Riri taking out the orange buff and just farming here, the early game usuals. But then on the mid lane, there's Zell. That's the bat impact. There's Lantern Flare pulling them back. You have to be very careful. Lantern Flare again onto the Sicilian, and that's what Field Wife can do in the early games. You have to be very careful. You have to make sure that you don't get in the area of effect of that Lantern Flare. But that's Zell there, poking it out with the bat impact. But meanwhile, the junglers are taking out those creeps there to farm as fast as possible. And that's the lethal, no contest whatsoever. Blood Floods and the Traceless to claim it. Smile will get that one in. And that's more where that came from. Rain on the other side, almost on level 4 here. Bloodthirsty How and the Lycan Pounds to take out the creep, almost on level 4. And that's Burns. Burns, you have to watch out here. That's a 4-man gang cooking up. The Bloodbath comes in, anti-hero stuns him up, and that's the Queen's Rods. And White Claws does not connect though. He has to be very careful here. That's a 4-man gank. And the level 4 now, Rain just hits it with that bloody retribution. Rotating back up top though, as a lost cause. Burns is already aware you're coming. So you have to change positions now. And Zetsumei knows that. Meanwhile, up top is the reverse situation here. Poking out to Nechi, and that's the final slash. But no, Allfather, he knows that he has the advantage in numbers here. But anti-hero gets him poked here, but Lantern Flare You have to make sure you get out of the range unless it's just going to peel you. That's what the Juicy is best at, peeling you and making sure you are low on HP before a major contest, the Blood Floods. And that's the Heavenly Vow by Smile. Not willing to lose it, just get, and that's the Blood Floods there with the Traceless comes in, and that's the First Blood. Alpha that takes it. And Anti-Hero will be the one to go first. For Zetsumei, they win those numbers. That's Zai zoning out Riri. It seems like Riri is not really interested in contesting for this first turtle there. That will be an uncontested one for, yeah, they're taking Oasiss, an uncontested turtle there at that. But that's Zell. Let me flick us in, and the final shot comes in as well. They will go in for Zell, not able to get away, destined to retire, and that will not be enough. Oasiss trying to get another one. Anti-Hero, they have to get back now. They have to make sure that they don't expend more than necessary resources in that engagement. And Oasiss, that calculative. This is the semi-finals. You have to make sure that your math is accurate. And you can't afford to take any unnecessary risk. Meanwhile, first, rotating to the middle here. And as the case, Ross and across the clear the minion waves, bat impact as well. Meanwhile, Kane, down bottom, on the gold lane, the bloodbath comes out. That's the bloodbath stun. That Zai will get it in. As Anti-Hero trying to support Kane here, and Kane just farming. He knows that Clint has early game advantage, but you don't want to push that too much. You really don't want to push it. But then that's the open fire from Riri. You will miss it though. He will dodge, and that's Zai dodging. That's Zai trying to zone out. That's the thing about the Grok. The Grok has so much sustain when he's close to the wall, so you have to watch out down. They know that they're not hitting him. That's Lantern Flare poking onto Zell, but Zell knows how to keep a distance against this Angler Claws, connects to the batting pass. Anti-Hero with the bloodbath, trying to come close, but has to get back now. Meanwhile, Burns making sure that he doesn't overextend at this point and just making sure that he farms when the minion waves, zoning the minion waves to make sure the minion waves comes even closer. That's a very nice strategy. He's trying to make sure that Kane overextends and comes out a bit just to farm. But then let's see how effective that will be. But they have the juicing advantage. The turtle will spawn though, and Oasiss already have the positioning advantage here. And Zell, you need to walk into this one. There's Zell, but that's the pullback, and it's Traceless with the blood floors. Now picks up Zell easy, and that's Zell losing it out on the mid lane there, losing the minion waves and the gold open fire. They're trying to salvage what's left, but no, that's the human, the Lycan form, and the wall there to prevent Riri from contesting for the purple buff. He will lose his purple buff there. Meanwhile, up top, and that's Tunechi pushing down. Let's say I want on the X plane, but meanwhile, down bottom onto the minion waves, they will lose the turtle again. Zetsumei giving Oasiss another free turtle, and that's a second uncontested one. But at what cost? You have to ask yourself, Rain up top, he has to go down, he has to support Tunechi, but then Zell here also needs support as well. So Roma has to make sure that she doesn't stay that long in that gold lane. Anti-Hero, you have to rotate, you have to let Kane be, but then runs. That's the book. Anti-Hero, the bloodbath, stones field wipe. Meanwhile, up top, Smile picks up Tunechi, and I will miss that one though. Has to go down, and down bottom onto the mid lane there. Zell has to come and defend there. That's the Queen's Roll with the poke there. Heavy crossbow already used, and that's the valuable resource. Okay, got some blood, but flickers out just in time. Meanwhile, the pullback from the Lantern Flare, but down bottom there, Kane is trying to make sure he farms, and that's Zai not willing to engage either. Field wife here, making sure that he has the positioning advantage. Kane not willing to overextend, not willing to even come out. Kane knows that he has a hit mark on his back. He has a target on his back. He doesn't want to overextend. He just wants to farm safely enough. Meanwhile, up top to Nechi, poking out Smile here. A bit of an aggressive one. There's the Blood Floods and Heavenly Vow. Bow and Glaive. You know, that's the thing about the Yisun Shin. Very interesting mechanic attack. But meanwhile, that side, the pushback. And Zell will be the one on the chopping block. And that's the bloodbath to take out the Faraga armor to Nechi. He will lose it though. Has to recall now. And meanwhile, on the mid lane, Rin trying to clear out the mid lane here. And Zetsumei choosing push over kills. And will that pay off? We just have to see. Meanwhile, down bottom, Anti-Hero with the bloodbath. But Burns is already aware. There's the Crimson Wings. And that's the turtle being taken down up top. The EX plane falls down. And down bottom there, there's a one cooking up top. Good wife trying to poke Rin here with the Lantern Flare. But Rin is not willing to engage. That's the thing when you have the Jusine. For Field Wife, there's a pull back again, Rain in the midst of it all, and that's the block. Cell struggling with mobility there. And that's what the Grok can do to you when he corners you with his wall in that tight corner. But Burns has to start out this turtle now. Meanwhile, down bottom there, Kane might be outnumbered, but Burns and Allfather here, they've swapped the lanes here, and Allfather is now on the gold lane. And that's the third turtle in this game. Zetsumei not making any move towards it whatsoever. Anti-hero, he has to make sure that things work out there on the gold lane. He has to spend a lot of time here, and that might be counterproductive. Bloodbath comes in, but then miss out there on that stun. Allfather a little bit too anxious, and that's the third uncontested turtle that Zetsumei will give to Oasiss, and no contest whatsoever. But Oasiss already know that they've won this turtle, so there's no need to push things here. And that's the blood test he had. Riri will take out, won't push back, okay, but we'll get away from that one. And Smile comes in, they will start out the turtle here, and they heavily vow back and forth, Glaive and Arrow once again to take out the turtle. Meanwhile, up top to Nechi, I think Zetsumei are starting to prioritize push over kills and objective, but in the long run, will that pay? I don't know. Meanwhile, down bottom, okay, first flickers out, but I will miss that one on the gold lane. That's a 4-on-1. Price strategy flickers in, but that's the final slash missing out. Samurai cross onto 2, an anti-hero with a Crimson Wing, okay, comes in as well. The stun connects there with the bat fence, batting back, but no, Allfather has to pay the price. His team has retreated, and he has to buy them time with his life. So yeah, that was really an interesting one for Rin. An open fire there to clear the minion waves to Nechi, poking it out. Already has the immortality now, and down bottom on the gold lane, Kane just might be ready for an engagement. He's starting to poke out Burns, and that is Burns having to recall from the effect of the double shot. The Bloodbath anti-hero checking the pushes here, really making sure he stays on this gold lane to support as a 4-on-1. They might have the chance now to push, as Zetsumei knows that, and that's Smile coming in with a traceless. They might want to prevent Zetsumei from taking out the tier 1. The open fire onto minion wave. Smile goes a blood, but Smile gets away, and that's the jump there with the Queen's Rob. But Green already takes out the tier 1 there, and that's the push in. To Nechi with the last insanity there, but not able to find Smile. Finds Smile, but at no cost. He loses his immortality, and that's the Crimson Bacon to Nechi. Losing Faraga ammo again to Nechi. Taking magic damage, but the burn is not enough to take him out. And Zetsumei will count their wins and pull out from that team fight. Meanwhile, up top, Allfather takes out the tier 1 on the X plane. Down bottom on the mid lane there, that's Burns clearing out the lanes. You have to really wonder, what is Zetsumei's plan at this point? I mean, they've taken out turrets. They're forsaking objectives. They're forsaking kills just to take out turrets. And in mid the game, so far when they give me the game round, and so far it's working out. And that's the time. Zhao was struggling with mobility here, but that's the bad fest. Try and get more to get away. But that's the final slash connecting onto Zhao. Might want to watch our footing in the mid lane there. But the Lord has spawned, and we're not gonna have to see. Zetsumei would have to choose the push or this Lord, but that will not be a decision made so soon. As up top, you get the mid lane there, and that's to Nechi poking it out there. Okay, that's the pullback, and that's the CC to Nechi getting caught in it. The Lantern Flare poking it out. There's the peel again from Field Wife, making sure that they don't come any closer. But that's the Blood Floods connecting Smile, and that's okay. Comes in Blood Floods, but no, they will not engage. That's Zai taking hits here with the Bat Fest, and that's Zell poking it out, making sure that Zai knows that, okay, we're starting to get a bit into the late game here, and I'm having some stacks, so you better be careful how well you come close to me. But that's the CC push back and knock up from Zai. Zai taking damage here. Rin might just melt him down, but no, that's a defensive move there from Zai. Because of blood, but will not be able to find anyone. Anti-hero now losing a valuable resource just before the Lord dance. That might not pay off. Anti-hero already now low, but Smile takes that down with the blood flood. Now the turtle has spawned that you don't have a Roma now, so no initiator. That was a brilliant move. Zetsumei counting their losses once more and forsaking the objective to Oasiss. They know that at this point, there's no point in contesting. You don't have a Roma, so there's no frontliner. And Nechi doesn't have the immortality, so that will not be a favorable engage for them. Meanwhile, now Oasiss catching up finally to the push. They will take down the tier 2 on the gold lane, but that's okay. Coming to defend their king, Might just want to defend there. Quick draw, taking him down, but no! Front has to flicker out. Wow, using the heavy crossbow and the flicker just to take out the Tattoo on the turret. Meanwhile, on the mid lane there, and that's Burns. Open fire. Blood Frost will miss. And that's anti-hero taking damage there from Smile. Heavily foul, doing his thing. And Rain, okay, will get away, but not able to engage just yet. Like and form. Okay, push back there with Sniper Cross. Bloodbath connects. But on the mid lane there, they're defending it. They don't want to open up that map. And Field Wife from the other side trying to get Lantern Flares in. But can he? Might just be able to. As a 4-on-1, they take out the tower on the mid lane. Cost of Blood comes in as well from anti-hero. But then that's one where that came from. Blood testing how anti-hero falls. And Rain comes in with the like and bounce. But Rain not able to take anymore. Finds France, Tsunechi, and Kane. They have to pull back now. Zetsumei, they have to count their losses. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Oasiss. They know that, and they are pulling back. And that's runs up top. Meanwhile, you have to make sure that those waves are cleared. They're beginning to push against you, Zetsumei. You have to make sure you get those lanes in. That's Speed Wife with the Panzer strategy there. Kane with a quick draw. And something recall. Bloodbath with something recall. Traceless, but flickers in. Kane with the reaction time. He knows that he can't afford to get any mistakes. To make any mistakes, rather. And that on the mid lane there, will push back. Zetsumei has to retreat now. They have to make sure that that Lord is prepared for with the wave clear and the macro, please. You know, Oasis is a calculating team, and Zetsumei are too. And the gold lead so far, 5k difference. Oasis leading the top as well. We're in the early to mid, we're in the late games now. We're starting to get into the late games, and both teams are now realizing that, okay, at this point, the macro plays and the micro plays now matter more than the kills and the pushes. But really, those macro plays and those wave management are going to help out with the Lord takes. And how easy the Lord is to take depends on how the quality of our match management. But then that's Traceless defensively from Smile. To get away, the man doesn't want to engage. The man just wants to make sure that he's there when that Lord dance starts, which starts in the next 20 seconds. And down bottom, Burns waiting it out. But then no one is coming. So Vance has to take out that minion there. And you can see Dazzai just escorting Vance to make sure if all things go south, you can escape. And Vance, that flicker is now available with the heavy crossbow. And the Lord will spawn in the next 5 seconds. And the wave management is looking in the favor of Oasis. They will start, they will start it out. And so far, yeah, they really have made sure. And that's the Mountain Shaker to check for the positioning there from Smile. But the Lord will start. They've started it out, and another uncontested objective for Oasis. That has got to be enough. But Rain down bottom. Rain, family taking, okay, trying to push here. But Rain might be able to get away. Will he be able to get away? That's the thing. Trying to recall here. Will he be able to recall in time? No, the Lantern Flare with the Retribution, and that has got to mark his death. Field Wife will sign that death certificate, and he will take him back to base as the Lord approaches from the EXP lane. And Oasis know that right now what matters is that wave clear. And yeah, that's exactly what they're up to. The Lord takes out the one up top, and Vance takes out the one down bottom. Meanwhile, the mid lane is taken care of by itself. And this is starting to look like the siege is about to start. And that's like frontlining that siege there. If you're right, looking anti-hero there. Tsunechi finally, Immortality is back online for him. And that's Toro there. They're trying to dive in, but can't they? That's the thing. And Tsunechi, as the wall is making it difficult for them mobility-wise. But how much more? How much more can they defend? That load is nearly melted down. In Oasis, they have to make that move now. Tsunechi not able to use the last ability to his full. And that's the boost back. Kenzel will pay for that. And that's more where that came from. Tsunechi still has immortality though. Oasis losing members. That guy goes down. Kane finds one, but he will respond quickly. Kane finds two. And that's the reason the man was farming all along. He was waiting for this moment. It's a 2-for-2 trade. And Oasis have to pull back now. They can't afford a wipeout in that situation. Not when Riri is active on the push. And both teams, they know that at this point, you can't make any mistakes. This is the semifinals. Any mistakes can be very costly. Any mistakes will take you into the finals. Your opponents can leverage on that. But then, Field Wife, waiting it out at this point. Just make sure the wave clears are on point. And Bronze handling the mid lane here. Field Wife checking the pushes with Lantern Flare. That's very valid. As a mage, you should be conscious of your positioning and the positioning of your teammates. Then anti-hero comes in. Okay, trying to zone them out here. But can he? There's bloodthirsty how to salvage what's left of that jungle of the purple buff. Riri pushing there. You have to hand it out to Riri though. I mean, the man's been pushing, but that's like a little bit of an extension here. Perhaps Vision providing. But then down bottom, you can see Oasiss have covered every angle. The up top mid lane, and that's Burns. That's a 4-on-1. You don't want to make any rough mistakes there. You need to make sure you don't get any. Okay, the minion waves. I thought he would clear the minion waves, but it seems like the Lito is more priority right now for him. And that's 15 seconds on the Lord. And Oasiss are doing a good job zoning them out. My goodness, that might be another uncontested Lord for them. But really, the Lord has spawned and they are moving towards it right now. That's Zai doing his job. That's the Grok. The HP on this Grok, man, damn, that's a lot. But then, you got that spawned and anti-hero, okay, they're trying to go in here. Really misses the open fire. Anti-hero perhaps, but a bit too late. Oasiss takes another one, and that's the pull-up. Cell still paying the price there, and the mobility with the final slash. But no All-Father will switch targets now. But Burns will finish the job and takes the clear, and that's 2 man down. And more where that came from. Anti-hero force. Oasiss going for the cleanup. And that's Flicker from Tsunechi trying to get away. K falls up top. And that's last vicinity from Tsunechi. But no, Field Wife gets a triple and doesn't let it go. And Oasiss Esports on a wipeout take game 1 in the semi-finals. 1-0. Oasiss have shown that they control the jungle in this game. And really, what can you say for Zetsumei as they take the game in a 16-6 victory? Wow. That was an amazing match. Anti-hero is Nigerian #1 Camila. So that was a pretty amazing match. You have to give props though, you know, because it wasn't really easy. Kane tried his best to farm, but then what happened. And now over to you guys in the chats. I'm going to be engaging you guys now. What do you think could have gone differently there? And do you think Zetsumei could have done things differently? I mean, they have not strategy, right? Their strategy was we push rather than take the kills, and we go for objectives. You know, we push rather than take the kills and farm when we have the chance rather than engage unnecessarily. But Oasiss said, nah, you know, we're just going to do everything. And yeah, for the record, Zetsumei didn't actually take any single objective in this game. That's how good Oasiss was at zoning them out and prioritizing objectives. So yeah, props to Smile. But yeah, over to you guys now. I'm going to be engaging the comments now. So someone says, hopefully a better draft this game. Yeah, definitely, hopefully a better draft this game. But yeah, someone says, Zell with silver. Well, to be fair, she did bronze, so then I don't have to correct you on that one. Someone says they can't really contest anything with this comp. And Oasiss really did a good job making sure they did it. Okay, someone says they really need a Camila to land. They really need a Camila to land proper set. Yeah, but with the way things went in that place, man, it wasn't exactly easy. But then someone says, yeah, game too soon. Yeah, game too soon indeed. We're definitely back into the lobby, so let's see how things turns out this time around. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna have to wait until the second draft. And that's Killflow signaling the start, and we'll probably have to start now. So yeah, we're waiting for one more member actually. Tsunechi left the lobby, so we're gonna have to wait for him to come back. And that's for Zetsumei. Okay, yeah, we're all ready, so we might be starting anytime soon. But yeah, game 2 is gonna have to determine. But in the meanwhile, Oasiss is still winning the poll, guys, and that is 34 votes on the poll. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. 31 votes rather on the poll, and Oasiss still leading by far in the poll here. Strange how that thing turned out to be, because Zetsumei was leading there, but then what happened, and I think we should start now. I don't know what the delay is. We're into the game now, and we are returning to the tournament lobby. Why are we returning to the tournament lobby? Yeah. Okay, guys, we have to just wait this one out. So yeah. Excuse me.
Thorns remain.
Your
should
team
petals
is
fall.
banning.
All right, so guys, welcome again to the second game here. And that's the last lost ban from Zetsumei. We're still repeating the same bans here, and that's the Broody ban, making sure that Kane doesn't get his hand on the Broody. To be fair, he was pretty rough with the Broody last time. He was pretty, I mean, he did style a lot. He was the most wanted, and he's got a hit list. So I like the fact that Zetsumei are not willing to take any risk there on that pick and making sure that it keeps itself in the ban phase. But then Riri here, Rain, has okay, takes down the Justin. That's a very valid one. You don't want Fieldwife to get his hands on that. That's you see. Yeah, no, Justin is actually a very annoying ban. It's actually a very annoying pick, rather. And Smile, you have choices here. You have choices, man. But what we go for, I'm really curious to see. Then he has other options. He has other options. Vents. Excuse me. Okay, yeah. So he has other options. Vents. Waiting to see what he goes for. And that Smile. Okay, indecisive. I understand. You have to take your time to Nechi. You don't have the Xbox anymore. So yeah, that's definitely something you have to consider, going out of your comfort zone for. So yeah, so I like the fact that Oasis are not, confident. Or I like the fact that Oasis aren't getting cocky, whereby they leave the bands open, despite knowing that, okay, your opponents are pretty strong with this band, but that's King. If I'm with Kane, I'd advise Kane to actually take down someone that's problematic to him, and that's the Alice takedown from Zetsumei. Wow, I still think the retail could have been a more worthy takedown than the Alice. I don't know why Zetsumei did not take down the retail, but then they've got their own reasons. So let's give them a benefit of the doubt, guys. That's Buns with the next pick. With the next ban. And Buns is trying to think this through. He might just take someone out. The Sicilian is not taking out, so that's Zell, having an advantage there. Wow, taking out the Irithel. My goodness, I think they don't want to give. Oh my goodness, now I understand why he didn't ban the Irithel, because he didn't want to give the Irithel because they were first pick, so they didn't want to give that Irithel to them. So Vons banned the Irithel. Okay, that's actually very valid if you think about it. Anti-hero there with the first pick, he might go for the Camilla. I mean, he's Nigerian number one Camilla, so it would be in his favor to go for the Camilla. But then I'm pretty sure Oasis are expecting that too. So if he does go for that, it's not going to be, it's not going to be a new thing. It's going to be something that's expected, and I'm sure they have something in common. But anti-hero, okay, leaving the roam lane to go for the jungle. I like the flexibility there on the lane phase. But then, Smile here, he has to consider other options, and the Joy is one which he will consider. Fieldwife with the Vexana, Lilia, slightly indecisive here, okay? A little bit of it being bewildered here, considering a lot of options. It's very good to consider options, especially when you haven't really seen your opponent's lineup. You have to really make sure that, okay, you're going with something that is adaptive, something that can adapt to whatever lineup that comes up. But that Smile on the Joy here, not switching, not doing anything. The man's pretty confident, perhaps waiting for input and approval from his teammates to go for it. But then the timer is not on their side, and that's 5 seconds left. They have to make their decisions now, and Fieldwife will go for the Kimi, leaving behind the Smile. No switches over to the Gato instead. A very brilliant pick. And then Kane, now you have to go for something, or he might move. The Clint is available. They didn't take that down, so Kane still has that pick in mind and still has that pick available for him. But so far, so good, guys. What do you think about the drafting? I think I've not engaged you guys enough, so let me just see what you guys are saying. All right, so someone says, okay, someone says here, I can see another comment here. Someone says, can't play Lancelot at all. He was, okay, they're talking about someone else. Okay, someone says, glad to see we have more Lance players on our server. Man, okay, I don't actually know who you are, Toby, but we actually have a lot of Lancelot players in our server. But yeah, it's always good to see more, right? But then Kane, right here, he has to make sure that he goes for something. Kane, okay, a 1-1 pick. That was supposed to be banned by Oasis, but somehow they forgot to do that. Perhaps they were too focused on his Broody. But then, okay. I'm saying okay because a 1-1 is actually a meta pick on the gold lane if you know how to play her well. And that's Rain with the Lunox. That's a very uncommon pick. But Vance, oh my goodness, that has got to be one that he did on impulse because he had a booster is definitely one that's gonna give for Kane a problem. But then Wind of Nature has got to be Kane's go-to in this situation, or the Winter Crown at least, but definitely Wind of Nature in this situation. And that's the Ruby ban from All Father. And Cell will have to go for that. Sicilian now, he has it available because it's not banned. So Sicilian is available, but I don't think the Sicilian is their priority ban right now for Oasiss. I don't think they really regarded the Sicilian much because, I mean, to be fair, Zell did get a bronze with the Sicilian, so they're probably not going to be seeing it as much of a threat. That's Oasiss. But then Zell here has to, really consider a lot of things here to ban. And All Father just might go for something, more. So you have to consider the EXP lane ban. And they don't have a Roma yet. So yeah, you have to consider whether the Gato is roam. But no, they will go for the Melissa and Dazai. I think they should have banned the Grok. To be fair, if they had banned the Grok probably, taking out the Grok, but then Dazai might have other heroes in his pool. So that's something to really consider there. But then All Father has to go for something here, has to ban something, bans the Ruby there, and that's Dazai. One more. And yeah, Dazai, you have to consider a lot of options here. Zell hasn't picked perhaps a Sicilian takedown. That might be worth it, but no, takes down. Okay, I have questions because Tunechi mostly goes for the Xbox. Now that the Xbox is taken down and the Calais is taken down, trying to restrict his options here, valid. But then Tunechi, now you have to take down someone, perhaps the Grok, because the Grok was pretty problematic to your team's lineup the last time. But Zell might take down someone too as well, takes down the Melissa, or maybe All Father might take down an EX player that might be problematic there. But Tunechi really thinking this one through, really making sure that he takes his time, and that's the Belric takedown. Wow. Going for leaving behind a Grok and going for a Belric. I definitely have mixed feelings with that ban. But then All Father, you have to calm down at this point. Go for something. That's the Phobios. Okay, Shadow of Dread. Wow, that's actually a very valid pick there. Shadow of Dread. The Phobios is actually a very strong EX laner. Tunechi here. The Xbox is banned, so Tunechi definitely has to go for something else. So yeah, and Ijong is actually not bad. Ijong is actually okay if you know how to play him well. But then in this comp, man, you definitely have to rely on those front lines. They need front liners, man. A Tigreal, my goodness, this is definitely a CC lineup. Wow, they did lock down that Tigreal. Jesus, I definitely want to be seeing some implosions and Tunechi as well. And honestly, I like this already. I like this already. But then, if you really think about it, there's not really a lot of follow up on Zell's ultimate because it can really help Kane mark the weaknesses and Tunechi can follow with the Fury Dive. But then, how much you don't really have that much synergy for this comp. I feel like more AOE's characters would have been better if they were going to go for the Tigreal. But then, hey, it's the team. I'm pretty sure they considered it as well as a team. And Dazai might just go for the Grok, man. It's not banned. So, and he did pretty well with the Grok. So, why not just go for it again? But Dazai really thinking this one through. How well does the Grok go? Or he might go for the Akai. Akai is the best counter against the. He could go for an Akai EXP laner. Yeah. I don't know why he's going for the Moskov. I don't know why. They don't have. Oh, my goodness. I feel like they could have just gone for the Akai. Akai would have given Tigreal a run for his money. But hey, they didn't go for the Akai, but that concludes the draft. And I'm going to take a short break here, guys. Let me just drink water so that, while the game loads, then I'll engage you guys in the comments. One sec. All right, so guys, sorry about that. So I had to just refresh, but then, the game is loading right now, and I can see people commenting. So, gone for Akai without MM. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have worked. I didn't actually look at the fact that they didn't have an MM. Actually, I thought Fieldwife was going to MM, but it looks like Fieldwife is the mage, so they are playing the Kimi on the mid lane. So definitely gonna have to take note of that. But Kane, okay, that's the Tiger pace. Okay, going to the lanes here. At this point, it's just gonna be farm and the usual early game drama. But nothing too serious, just them helping out. Tunechi up top. And Father helping out his jungler here like he should. And everything is just smooth. And I'm gonna be engaging the comments while the early game is going on. But okay, it looks like Father might want an early advantage here. But then Demonic Force and no, okay, that's the engagement there up top. I mean, meanwhile, down bottom of the mid lane there, taking damage. Cell, you need to be careful. You need to be careful. That's the poke there. Anti-hero getting poked. If Fieldwife doesn't go for a poke hero, I don't know. I don't know what's with Fieldwife and poke heroes. First it was the Juicing, now it's the Kimi. I mean, what's with Fieldwife and poke heroes, man? And peel heroes, rather. But then Fieldwife here, poking out Zell. Zell, okay, peeling him now. Then Zell, you have to be very careful against this Kimi. But meanwhile, up top, Allfather and Tunechi, the Sha Essence has erupted. And Fieldwife coming in to support here, and that's the Dragon Tail. And Fury Dive unlocked now. There's Soul Grip to unleash, but no. Fury Dive connects with the Petrify there. Try to get Fury Dive, but no. Tunechi, you're taking damage. Tunechi might be the first blood. Tunechi Dragon Tail trying to get Star Residue in, but Allfather flickers out. But Tunechi wins it out despite a 1v2 scenario, and that's the power of Yuzong. The crossing touch of the Yuzong wins him that. Meanwhile, down bottom, that side taking damage there, and that's Dazai falling, and that's a 2-0. Oasiss are falling short in the early game, and Zetsumei have found their ground in this one, and they will start out the objective. This has got to be the first objective they will be taking since the entire fixture started, if you think about it. Then the turtle will soon spawn here, and the turtle will soon be taken out, rather. And that's them taking out the turtle. Meanwhile, that bottom Smile with the engage there. That'll kill. We're not able to find any value. And that's Kane surviving that one. And that's Burns as well, trying to take advantage of that sliding tackle defensively to get away. Meanwhile, onto the mid lane here, like, okay, Fieldwife. And that's saying, okay, power of order. Okay, Quad Shadows comes in, but he doesn't have the shadow kill. So that was just a harmless poke there. And nothing so serious. Anti-hero rotating down bottom now. And Dazai might be looking for one here. Zell going down bottom here, just might want to take out Burns. Burns already sees them coming. That's one thing about a marksman. You have to be very sensitive of who is coming and who isn't, and who is available and who isn't, because that could make or break, and that could be the difference between a gank and a survival situation. Meanwhile, up top on the EXP lane, that side, with unbreakable misses to Nechi. Sha Residue is erupting, and he knows how to count his losses. Tunechi might be getting a little bit confident here. There's the Manic Storm, but no, he will not be able to get away. That was a 4-man gang from Oasiss, as they will finally get a kill in this game. Meanwhile, down bottom, Burns falls, and Zetsumei picks it up real quick as they take out one on the gold lane as well. Wow, I like the fact that Zetsumei are no longer, holding back on the kills. They're now trying to tell Oasiss that, okay, look, you want to go for the kills, you want to go for team fights, we can match that energy. So yeah, we'll just do like that. But that Speedwipe anti-gravity thrust to escape anti-hero, you have to get away, man. You are the Kimi, so you are pretty vulnerable to CC. But then that Smile rotating, taking out the little here, he needs that mobility. The turtle will soon spawn, and Oasiss, they don't want to make any mistakes here. And Smile trying to go for Kane here. Don't forget, Kane has that mobility in store. Meanwhile, that turtle is almost spawned. Smile looking for Kane here. Just going down here. 4-man gang cooking up fronts. Just might want to signal that one Fieldwife already coming out. Might want to poke. That's the flicker. That's the strategy that they have found straight in. That's not able to find anyone. Okay, because Shadow Kill comes in. Not able to find anyone there. Kane already low. Kane not able to get taken down. That was a 4-man gang, and they still couldn't take Kane down. My goodness. I mean, this guy, his sensitivity is pretty good. But anti-hero coming in to defend and hold out on the gold lane here. And that's the second turtle being taken by Zetsumei. They are starting to, I mean, the reverse is the case here. Because if you really think about it, so far, in the early game, right? In the early game, they didn't actually take any objectives. But now they're the ones taking all the objectives. What is going on? Did they have an agreement that we take the objectives first, we'll take the objectives first, and then you will take it now? I don't know. Was there some kind of unwritten agreement? But meanwhile, Svans and Dazai coming down bottom there. That's It's like up from King. He has to take out this gold crab now. And that's more where that came from. Blood Floss with the traceless. But Rin doesn't want to engage just yet. That side is there. That's a 4-on-2. Numbers advantage to Zetsumei. They have to make sure that that works out. They need Vons to be as underfarmed as possible. But man's running on the wall there. It thinks that's having some network issues. Meanwhile, Mountain Shaker comes out from Rain. And the tier 1 on the gold lane is almost taken down. And Anti-Hero takes down the tier 1 there. In the mid lane, meanwhile, Fieldwife poking it out and grabs the trust, but the power of all that saves Zell from that situation. Meanwhile, Charis erupts, Fieldwife flickers out, and that's more where that came from. Smile picks out him up, picks Zell up. Quad Shadows trying to escape Kane, but can he escape? That's the thing. The Tiger Pace will find him, and Smile goes down. Meanwhile, the mid lane there, Vons, that side falls, and that's Zetsumei pushing down Oasiss. They will try to take down the tier 1 on the mid lane there. And that's the Fury Dive, comes in, trying to zone them out here, and the tier 1 goes down, and Zetsumei now pushing it. Demonic Force comes in, it is in flowers to get out of CC there, but the Demonic Force, you can't get away from that Infernal Pursuit, and that's more, they offer that with the Infernal Pursuit even more, pressuring Anti-Hero, offer, takes him out with the Demonic Stomp, and that's Anti-Hero falling to Nechi now with the Dragon Tail, and that's his soul grip with the Fury Dive, but Residue, Tunechi shuts him down, and Tunechi is on a killing spree. AOG will miss. Traceless comes in, but they will push him out. That's die. Finds the kill. Tunechi gets a double. It's a 3-on-3 trade and shut down there. Tunechi has to be regulated, and Oasiss waste no time in doing that. Meanwhile, the turtle will start, and finally, they're going for the objective. Oasiss going for their first objective in the second match. That's the Quad Shadows. He might go for a steal here. Well, that's how he's zoning them out. That's the thing. And that's more where that came from. They will take the turtle here. And Anti-Hero. Okay, Anti-Hero. And that side. Okay, chasing him out now, but there's nothing too serious going on here. And that's a mid lane there, taking out the tier 1. Quad Shadows comes in as well. Smile! But Smile doesn't want to engage. And that's more where that came from for Smile. He knows that was not a worthy risk. That was not a worthy risk at all. But meanwhile, on the mid lane, Zell trying to just hold out on this tier 1. They're losing their turrets. But that was just the gold lane on. They lost. So, yeah. Okay, we can see that Tunechi is really just dragging it out with All Father up top. He's just dragging it out, man. You know, it's just an aura for aura at this point. You have the regen, I have it. You have the sustain, I have it. So we just get to see who's better. But so far, Tunechi actually doing so well with the Yuzhongs, but you have to watch out though. I mean, the late games could come back, but there's the Soul Grip with the Fury Dive by the Dragon's Tail, but the Fury Dive defensively into the turret. And Anti-Hero, I haven't seen a single implosion so far. I mean, what's he holding out on? But then Demonic Storm comes in with the Infernal Pursuit, and that's the Swallow's Path comes out from Kane, and Traction Pulse pulls 2, and Fieldwife might just want to find one Mountain Shaker to reveal locations here from Rin. But then that's them being zoned out, and they're trying to take down this tier 1. They're trying to take turrets. Meanwhile, Oasiss taking advantage of the chaos up top, and they will take down the tier 1. Bronze trying to push for the tier 2 here. Zell, and that's starting tackle there with the Quad Shadows. Power of all that to outplay, but no, he will not be outplayed. Smile will take advantage, and they will take down the tier 2 on the mid lane. And Kane, okay, Black Dragon phone comes out, and that's him trying to get away there. AOG connects. But Smile, Quad Shadows get away from Kane, and that's Tunechi going down, and Oasiss are taking back the game, and Vons, okay, Vons finds a kill in the turret, reinforce, Smile with Quad Shadows, Anti-Hero, but he doesn't have the shadow kill to follow that one through. Oasiss, they've taken back the momentum of the game, equalized on the kill, gained the kill lead, and now they have the objective advantage. Vons want to take out the turret, and now Zetsumei are now playing defensively. It's crazy. They started out so well, but now Oasiss have flipped things over, and now the load is almost spawned. And I don't know why we haven't seen a single implosion from Anti-Hero. I was really expected to see those, but then that's that side there. They take out the Lord now, and that's Oasiss taking out their second objective. Zetsumei, you really have to start taking more objectives. But then being zoned out like that, I can't really say much about you guys, man. I really can't really say. But then that's Anti-Hero. Really just making sure. I mean, you have to zone out at this point. Wave management is more important, but Tunechi rotating up top, a bit of an overextension here from your team to Nechi. You have to be very careful there. Unless you get picked up with that size. Speaking of picked up, a very close one at that. A very close one at that. But meanwhile, engage there. All father engaging me there with penalty pursuit. But they just want to commit. The Lord is approaching from the mid lane. And they're going to need all the numbers that they can get. Oasis don't want to risk anything here. And the Lord is approaching for the mid lane. Meanwhile, down bottom, Vans trying to take out the tier 2 here on the gold lane. And Dazai, King, trying to engage here. That's stagger pace for Vans. Taking out the tier 2 here. King, unbreakable. Okay, Needles in Flowers used a little bit too early though. He didn't use the unbreakable. That was a nice beating out by Dazai. And Vons has to be close now. Traction pause, connects onto 3 field wipes. Doing his thing as a poke there, but that's the Lord Siege thrust in to take one out. Oasis are losing numbers. AOG will miss there. And anti-hero falls. I don't really know what's going on here, but that's 3 more. Smile picks up 3 in the back. My goodness, gets a double on Kane. And that's back dragon form. Field wipe the anti-gravity draws to get away. And that's to Nechi, but Oasis, they will show their fangs and tell them that you may have taken the early game, but we will take the mid and the late game as they take the semi-finals and they will move on to the finals. Oasis are your winners for your semi-finals as they win a 2-0 win in this match. My goodness, that was a very interesting play. And, you know, I really have to give it to Smile. He really did so well with the Hayabusa and also to Nechi as well. Those are the MVPs on both teams. But yeah, it's getting late, guys. But it's almost 11:30 here. Okay, 11:20 rather. So yeah, that's gonna be everything for tonight, guys. It was a long one, and there were some delays in the back. But then I have to appreciate everyone who stayed on to the end. And I'll see you in the finals, where me and Carl are gonna be co-casting it. So for anything, don't miss that one. And I'll see you guys tomorrow or when they fix the match. Good night.